Update 5.7 saw a rebalancing of the FV215b 183 Death Star in World of Tanks Blitz. And the question now is it still worth grinding for this tier 10 British tank destroyer? Let's find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel, to a revamped look at the Death Star, the tier 10 British tank destroyer with a monster gun, hash ammo, and that basically allowed you to sit in the back at World of Tanks Blitz, put in 3, maybe 4 shots on the enemy and do 4 to 5k damage. This tank was broken, and not so much the tank was broken, but the fact that the teams in Blitz were small, that the maps were kind of small. This tank had monstrous camo, it had a really accurate gun for the caliber and the size of the shell and the damage it had, and yeah, something had to be done. So 5.7 saw a nerf to the tank. And let's be fair, it still has a big gun, so it can still do shots like this. Pump a big shell through the drive wheel of an E100, there we go, 920. Lower plate of an E100, big roll, 1058. Or through the side of a Death Star, 977. And it gets even more fun when people decide to drive in front of you and you can load the hash. Lower plate of an FV215b, there we go. Or a Batchet popping up at C-Cap at Oasis Palms. Lovely jubbly. It's hilarious when people drive in front of you, completely oblivious to your presence, so you can shoot them up the side. And yes, Leopard, you managed to take the hill, but I'm in an FV and I've got hash. I'm gonna fire anyway, and then we'll see if we hit or not. And yes, the dispersion may have been nerfed, so it is less accurate, but if you aim carefully, then you can still hit. And hash, it is an HE round, so it will do splash damage. And if you take a look on the update 5.7 page of Blitzhanger, you can see that the dispersion of the tank has been changed. The traverse speed on hard terrain and on medium terrain and as well on soft terrain has been changed. So it is less easy to keep up with medium circling you, which means that you can't be the tank that sits at the back anymore, just farming the damage. But the tank is still a very lethal weapon. It's got 1800 hit points, firepower is brilliant, 2.6k in terms of DPM using AP. That's not the best in class, but you do have a wicked number of damage in terms of alpha. And if you use a hash round, you get 1300 average alpha, which means that 2 shots will kill any medium tank, provided you do, well, average rolls. The gun handling, that's bad now. Base aim time bad, dispersion is bad, etc. It is all bad. The dispersion upon moving and rotating is not that bad at all, but it has a massive bloom once you fire it, and yeah, it's not the campy tank that it used to be anymore. And let's be honest, that is a good thing, because we've all been there. You were sitting up on a map like this, on Canal, and then you would have the northern spawn, and you would go towards the T-cap area, trying to move in, and then going into the corner completely, and you were thinking, right, I'm gonna spot up the enemy. And yes, you did in your STB or your PTA or your Leopard 1 or any other tank. Basically, you were spotting them up, and you were spotted yourself as well. And then you were spotted, and then there was that pesky little tank destroyer, the Death Star, sitting at the back, and then just whacked you for 1000 or yeah, say average of 930. And then you could do nothing anymore because he was sitting there on a hill like this one, which is on the left, or in between one of those hills, or on that massive ridge, or on a camping spot at Castilla. You know, basically any spot that you could sit in, he would sit in. And we're gonna, yeah, that one hit. Right, you know, on any of those hills, Castilla was a known one as well. There are a few maps where you would know an FV would sit, and the camo factor on the tank was just through the roof. It is a massive tank, it is high, but the camo value on this one was better than on the grill. I know the grill is quite a high tank for a tank destroyer, but still, I mean, it's a non-armored tank. It has absolutely no armor whatsoever. and it would have a better camo rating than one of the biggest guns in the game. That just didn't make any sense whatsoever. So the camo buff or camo nerf, that was one that just had to be done. The dispersion nerf, yes, justified as well, I think. I know there's been people who were saying just nerf the credit income of the tank, because if you nerf the credit income, then people would shoot less hash and they would not really want to play the tank. But I don't think people would really do that. People would not stop playing a tank just because it's a bad earner at tier 10. People want to play tanks at tier 10 anyway. Having the tank set up like this means that you can still camp. You can camp in any tank if you want to. I would not advise you to do so, but if you want to, you can camp in any tank. IS-7s are the best ones, obviously. No, I'm kidding. You shouldn't camp. You should provide effective fire. And that means that you should put your gun on the line if needed. And you can see I haven't been sitting still at all during this whole game. I have moved from the flank supporting A and B and then all the way up, and then I shot the VK7201K through its side, and now pushing it onto this T123. I can shoot him through the lower plate. I've killed him. I shot him once and I've shot him again, and he's down, enemy destroyed, and we're going to move in towards base B. And I've basically been on the entire map. You can see I've done a full flank. I have not camped. I have not been sitting at the back, and I rushed this shot because I wanted to get a hash shot in, and I not penetrate. Only splash damage on the track guards. But we are capturing D, and that's good. And even though there's a Muppet, and even with my adrenaline, I can't get the next shot in because this tank is still a tank that has no possibility of really quick loading and getting 2 shots in, where it had the possibility before. I've camped this one on the southern spawn of Castilla, the usual spot where you would spawn and you would go up the ridge, and I was sitting there behind a bush with my camel net erect, and I was spotted from the top of the Castilla by a medium tank, by a T62, and I know that tank has a good camo rating as well. I do know that, but I'm pretty pretty certain that in the older version, if the pre-rebalanced version, the pre-nerfed version, I think I would have been able to outspot the T62 before he spotted me, provided I didn't fire my gun. I mean, if you shoot your gun, your camo rating drops to 0, you are nearly automatically spotted if you are in, say, 200 meters range of tanks. And maybe in the old version, my tank with a really good crew and a camo net and camo paint, etc., versus a player that has its first tier 10 medium, I think maybe I would have been able to remain undetected. I'm not quite sure. I do know that Measy69 has a good video up on his channel of the pre-nerfed FV, where he actually said, well, I played a game and it was on dead rail, and he was in the rear guarding a rock and a bush. And I think he managed to shoot an Object 704 or a tank, and they didn't spot him. And that was just bonkers. I mean, a tank this big, the Jagdpanzer E100 has that crap camo rating because it is a huge tank. This tank should not be able to fire guns at 250 meters or so if you're behind the bush and with camo, and then inflict that amount of damage without going spotted. You should not be able to do that. And that's what Wargaming have done. They have made the tank less campy. Is that annoying? Well, yeah, it can be annoying to have that tank to be less campy. Of course it can be annoying. But it also made the tank more of a frontline tank. You can't just sit in the back anymore. You have to go to positions and really support your team. And I think in that regard it could be regarded as the ultimate supporter. And you can see that shot that I took. I'm not sure where I was spotted from. Could well be an enemy medium up on the hill that is now undetected. Maybe that IS-7 did, AMX-50B spotted me. Not sure. Trying to load the hash. He doesn't go in, but he is... I think he's going to be kind enough to just go slightly backwards. Jägermeister's turn. You can see I'm not shooting because I want to support. Are you going back? Come on, AMX. Oh, hello. Just a slither of... Yeah! Enemy vehicle destroyed. And that's what you want to do in a tank. You want to be in a position like this. I'm still kind of camping, but I can see we are winning the hill, but sort of losing the town. Not going to shoot that one. Can I shoot the T-54E1 then? There we go. It's going to be a hash on the arse. Come on, burn, burn. Oh, Jagdpanzer, why? Well, I did say affirmative, but he would have burned down to the ground completely. But I am spotted. And I'm not quite sure. Do leave your thoughts in the comment. Do you think I would have remained undetected with the old FV? I think I would have remained undetected with the old FV. Again, I'm not sure, but I really think I would have been undetected. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Big shot with an engine fire again for 1k, 4.7k. You can still rack up the damage in this tank. No problems whatsoever. Hello, oh FV, I would have wanted to shoot you. Oh hello IS, not going to shoot you. Wait a bit, lower plate. Erp. Dispersion has been changed. You don't get some of these snapshots in anymore. But then again, I have the hit points. I can set up a shot over here. I'm norm safe arm from those tanks around in the town area. The FV takes out our IS-7, but I can kill the IS-7 now. There we go. Thank you very much for participating. And I'm sitting behind the building here, and I'm actually thinking about... I noticed a shell burst on the building. I think it's here. Not sure when, where. Somewhere like that. And I was thinking, right, there's one in B cap, and I can go in now. And yeah, E100 good. Yeah, he flanked in the Jagdpanzer E100. And then suddenly there were two tanks at A cap, but I can kill the waffle and bounce a shot and win 6k damage. Kind of frontlining, kind of camping, waiting, but ultimate supporting thing. So yes, I think this tank is still worth grinding for. We got a nice ace game on Middelburg in this game. And if you then look at the post-game stats, especially the team list, effective Jagdpanzer E100 has to be one of the most effective shots of the game ever. 46 or 48 damage, 1 kill. I asked him in the end and he said, well, the T-54E1 shot me, so I wanted to kill him. Well, GG, buddy. Quick summary. Don't camp, but support your team with this tank. You have to pick the right targets in the beginning of the match so you can mop up later. And remember, hash is glorious. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. I catch you all on the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers and happy tanking.